Wars between Rome and the Germanic tribes were among the most dramatic and transformative conflicts of the ancient world. These clashes of empires and cultures spanned centuries, shaping the political and cultural landscape of Europe. What made these wars unforgettable were not only the battles, but also the personal stories, acts of defiance, and moments of resilience that emerged amidst the chaos. This narrative delves into key episodes and characters that defined the Roman-Germanic Wars. Chapter 1. The Crossing of the Rhine. Julius Caesar's ambition. In 55 BCE, Julius Caesar stood on the banks of the mighty Rhine River, his gaze fixed on the dense forests of Germania. For centuries, the river had marked the edge of Roman influence, a boundary between civilization and the untamed wilderness. But Caesar, driven by ambition, sought to change that. "Let them see what Rome can do," Caesar declared to his engineers. Within 10 days, they constructed a massive wooden bridge across the Rhine, a feat of engineering that left even his seasoned legions awestruck. The Germanic tribes, hearing of the crossing, retreated deeper into the forest, unwilling to confront the Roman war machine. Caesar's incursion was brief, lasting just over 2 weeks, but it sent a clear message. Rome's reach was limitless, a Germanic response. For the tribes of Germania, the sight of Roman banners flying beyond the Rhine was a chilling omen. Among them was a young warrior named Arminius, then a child, who watched with wide eyes as his elders spoke of the looming threat. "They will come again," his father said grimly. "When they do, we must be ready." Chapter 2. Varus and the Ambush. Rome's confidence. By 9 CE, Rome believed it had pacified Germania. Publius Quinctilius Varus, the governor of the region, enforced Roman laws and collected taxes, assuming the tribes would submit as those in Gaul had. To maintain order, he marched 3 legions deep into the Germanic heartland. Arminius, now a chieftain of the Cherusci and a trusted ally of Rome, rode alongside Varus, feeding him false reports of peace. The ambush at Teutoburg Forest. The ambush began on a rainy autumn morning. As the Roman column, stretched thin along narrow forest paths, moved deeper into Germania, the tribes attacked. Arminius had united the Cherusci, Bructeri, and Marsi in a coalition, and their guerrilla tactics overwhelmed the disciplined Roman formations. For 3 harrowing days, the legions were slaughtered. Varus, realizing the scale of the disaster, fell on his sword. By the end, the 17, 18, and 19 legions were annihilated, their eagle standards lost to the mud and blood of the battlefield. The news of the disaster sent shockwaves through Rome. Emperor Augustus reportedly cried, "Quinctilius Varus, give me back my legions." The psychological blow was as devastating as the military loss. Chapter 3. Arminius' Triumph and Tragedy. A hero for Germania. The victory at Teutoburg made Arminius a hero among the Germanic tribes. For a moment, it seemed as though Germania could remain free of Roman control. Villages celebrated with bonfires and feasts, honoring the warriors who had driven the Romans back across the Rhine. Betrayal and death. But the unity Arminius had forged was fragile. Rival chieftains resented his growing power, accusing him of seeking kingship. In 21 CE, Arminius was betrayed by his own people and assassinated. His dream of a united Germania died with him. Even in death, Arminius became a symbol of resistance, his name remembered as a liberator who had humbled the greatest empire in the world. Chapter 4. The Roman Retaliation. Germanicus strikes back. In the years following Teutoburg, Rome sought vengeance. Germanicus, the adopted son of Emperor Tiberius, led a series of campaigns into Germania from 14 to 16 CE. His legions burned villages, slaughtered warriors, and recovered 2 of the lost eagle standards. One of his greatest victories came at the Battle of Idistavizo, where he defeated Arminius in open battle. Yet even with these triumphs, Germanicus recognized the futility of long-term occupation. The forests and swamps of Germania swallowed legions whole, and the tribe's resolve remained unbroken. Germanicus was recalled to Rome, and Emperor Tiberius declared the Rhine the empire's permanent northern boundary. Germania Magna would remain unconquered. Chapter 5. The Marcomannic Wars. A new threat, A century later, the Roman Empire faced a renewed challenge from the Germanic tribes during the Marcomannic Wars, 166 to 180 CE. Sparked by migrations and pressure from the Huns, tribes such as the Marcomanni and Quadi launched large-scale invasions into Roman territory. Marcus Aurelius campaigns. Emperor Marcus Aurelius personally led his legions in a grueling series of campaigns along the Danube frontier. The Romans achieved several victories, but the cost was immense. Plagues swept through the legions, and the empire's resources were stretched thin. One notable episode was the rain miracle, where a sudden storm reportedly saved a Roman legion surrounded by Germanic forces. The event was attributed to divine intervention and immortalized on the column of Marcus Aurelius in Rome. Despite his efforts, Marcus Aurelius' death in 180 CE marked the beginning of Rome's slow decline, as the Germanic tribes grew bolder. Chapter 6. The Migration Period. The Sack of Rome. By the 4th and 5th centuries CE, Germanic tribes like the Goths, Vandals, and Franks began migrating into Roman territory, driven by pressure from the Huns and internal instability within the empire. In 410 CE, the Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked Rome, a symbolic moment that marked the end of the empire's dominance. A changing world. Germanic kingdoms arose in the ruins of the Western Roman Empire. The Franks established their rule in Gaul, the Visigoths in Hispania, and the Ostrogoths in Italy. These kingdoms blended Roman traditions with their own, creating the foundations of medieval Europe. Chapter 7. Legacies of the Wars. Cultural exchange. Despite their hostility, the interactions between Rome and the Germanic tribes led to significant cultural exchange. Germanic elites adopted Roman customs, Christianity, and elements of Roman law. In turn, Germanic influences shaped the character of the post-Roman world. A divided Europe, the Rhine and Danube became enduring cultural and political boundaries, dividing the Romanized West from the Germanic East. This division would shape the development of European nations for centuries. Epilogue. A Tale of Two Worlds. The Roman-Germanic Wars were more than a series of battles. They were a transformative encounter between two civilizations. For Rome, the wars highlighted the limits of imperial power. For the Germanic tribes, they were a fight for survival and identity. Even as the wars ended, their legacy endured in the cultural and political fabric of Europe. The Rhine flowed on, a silent witness to the clash of empires and the birth of a new world. Chapter 8. Unlikely Heroes of the Roman-Germanic Wars. The Centurion's Last Stand. One of the most legendary stories of individual valor comes from the aftermath of the Battle of the Teutoburg Forest. A Roman centurion named Lucius Tertius Valens, separated from the main force and surrounded by Germanic warriors, chose to make a stand rather than surrender. According to surviving accounts, Valens and a small group of soldiers fought for hours, using a makeshift barricade of fallen trees and debris to hold off waves of attackers. Germanic warriors reportedly offered him terms of surrender, promising to spare his life, but Valens refused. His final words, as later recounted by both Roman and Germanic sources, were, "Rome does not kneel." He fell alongside his men, earning respect even among his enemies. Legacy. Valens' defiance became a rallying cry for future Roman campaigns, symbolizing the unwavering discipline and pride of the Roman legions. The Germanic warrior who spared a Roman. In the chaos of the Marcomannic Wars, a Germanic warrior named Alaric encountered a wounded Roman officer named Decimus Corvus during a skirmish near the Danube. Alaric, who had lost his brother in an earlier Roman raid, initially raised his axe to kill Corvus. But something about the Romans' desperate, human plea for mercy stopped him. "Why do we always kill?" Alaric asked himself, lowering his weapon. Instead of striking the blow, he bound Corvus' wounds and left him in a nearby grove with food and water. Corvus survived and later recounted the encounter, calling Alaric a man of honor in an age of blood. Legacy. The story of Alaric became a rare but poignant reminder that even in the fiercest of wars, moments of compassion could bridge the gulf between enemies. Chapter 9. The Rise of the Holy Roman Empire. Though the Western Roman Empire fell in 476 CE, its legacy endured. In the centuries that followed, The Germanic tribes who had resisted Rome became the inheritors of its traditions. Charlemagne and the fusion of two worlds.